Hello, Goldma viewers. Welcome to the Goldma Conversations. As usual, we are here with an interesting topic. Today, we're going to be talking about security tokens. We have very little time and so much to say about it, so we're going to dive straight into it. And the first thing maybe would be to define a security token and why it's different from a utility token. Someone asked me a funny question. I don't know if they were trying to be funny or they were just, I don't know. But they said, well, what's so secure about a security token? And I was like, really? But maybe there was a point to their question. Mr. J, how would you define a security token?
Well, put plainly, it is a investment contract as it relates to security tokens, or as it relates to cryptocurrency. An investment contract as it relates to cryptocurrency is what I would say in very broad terms. Now, I want to add a little bit to that because it is a broad perspective. It's typically related to whether or not you pass the Howey test that the Supreme Court ruled back in 1946 in the United States. So this Howey test, if you pass that test, you are considered to be a security token.
Sorry, would you like to just briefly explain what a Howey test is?
The Howey test is basically what the Supreme Court deemed as a set of questions that they ask a company that you are engaging, what type of activity your company is engaging in. So these set of questions that they ask you. And if you pass this test, they'll say, no, you are a security or consider a securities. It has nothing to do with tokens, just a securities contract. You are engaged in trying to sell security or a securities contract, which is basically an investment contract for future payment. So you're going to engage in a contract with a person, and that contract involves the person telling you, the third party, to tell you, hey, I'm going to give you payment in the future for your investment now.
Okay,
so basically that is what involves the Howey test and also how securities are considered. And mostly that's what you see on the stock exchanges is people will say, hey, give me some money now and I'll give you money later. Okay.
All right. There's an article that I was reading here. It's from coinmarketcapjournal.com. And they define a security token as a digital contract that denotes a share of ownership in some asset of value. Do you guys agree or disagree? If not, why not?
Well, to an extent, I agree. That's what it is. It's you're getting a part of something in the future, right? But I worry that when people hear share, immediately they think of a security as in a share in a company. I don't know if that's what the article meant, but I think, that future income, like the same thing in the traditional finance world, you can have a corporate bond, which you're basically loaning the company money, and they promise to pay you back at some future date, and they put a percentage premium on that. That, okay, you give us $100 today, in 5 years' time, we're going to give you $110. So there's a 10% premium in that. But you can still trade those corporate bonds on the stock exchanges if you feel the need to do so. So that I just wanted to make that clear. Like when I hear that, that's the impression that I get, that what do they mean by share?
Okay.
It's not necessarily ownership. It might mean just you get a part of, as in a share, a part of.
Okay, interesting perspective. There's something that you said in pre-production, Mr. J. You said that it's a contract, but there's a prefix that you used for that contract.
Investment contract.
Yes. I think I like that because it sort of broadens what a security token really is. Do you want to expand further on that?
Sure. An investment contract basically can appear in many different ways based on what type of contract you have. Like he was saying bonds, you don't have shares, but maybe you get a share of what happens, but they dictate to you with respect to that bond. They dictate to you what you're going to get back. And typically the government guarantees that bond by basically by themselves. They say, we the government, we're going to back this bond. Now, even the bond is considered a security because the bond itself is promising a future payment. So it is also an investment contract. So you have different types of investment contracts. There are some tokens that say, no, we're going to give you a share. There are some tokens that say, no, I'm going to treat it as though it's a bond. Some say, hey, you're going to get a portion of this land.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you'll get a portion of this real estate, of this building, some other property. You may share in that. So there's different types of investment contracts, just like there is with respect to the different exchanges. So that's my take on it. You know, I think I could probably be broader, but just giving examples of what you may see with respect to a security token. There is no one size fits all. It's just based on the type of contract and the innovation involved in that contract.
Okay. Now, there's a thought that's coming right now to my head. Correct me if I'm wrong. The security token basically means that the token alone is not valuable, but if I take a valuable asset, something that holds value, and I attach it to the token, then the token becomes a representation of whatever we agree upon that you're entitled to as far as the asset is concerned, right? Yeah. Do you think that we talked about the history of money and that the US dollar until the 1970s was backed by gold, and then the tie was severed in the 70s, in the early 70s. And it shifted from being gold-backed to being confidence-backed, right? And now with security tokens, do you think they're trying to revert back to that model of actually having a currency that is a representation of an actual valuable asset? Mr. Eddie?
I think so. I think you're on the right trend because if you see with utility tokens, they are named vehicles of speculation.
That's powerful.
Yes, that's how, you know, so...
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one, right? But yeah, because, so I think the introduction of security tokens actually do away with most of that speculation and pave way for robust investment in the decentralized platform because there is something that backs. There's, instead of just speculation and just the hope that with this utility it's going to work out and you're sort of held at ransom. So, you know, it's actually a very good observation that you put there.
I think there is estimated trillions and trillions of dollars or trillion of dollars of worth of assets that are out here available to go onto the market to be traded in a divisible manner. So now, instead of me selling this real estate as a whole, I can divide it up with respect to tokens. And you earn this amount of the profits or the earnings in the future because now you've put that much money in. And that's brilliant to me because think about it, now real estate is completely different now. Now you're not just buying the entire building or not just the apartment, but you're buying tokens that represent the entire building and what it may produce in terms of earnings in the future. And that's huge because, you know, you guys have been to the mine and you think about the work that's being done at the mine. Now we're going all the way back to where work itself is actually related to earnings, not some type of calculation that someone come up with some derivatives that people come up with and say now you're going to earn something from a derivative.
Yeah.
You know, you get away from the work, you're using some type of fancy mathematics. Now it ties back to work. You know, I think he said this verse, you know, work edifies a man or a woman. And now when you can relate earnings from work and then work that is on a gold mine, where now there is a commodity or a item that is considered money, like gold. Yeah. Now you're working in tandem with something that historically has value, intrinsic value. Yeah. This is why I'm such a strong proponent of what we're doing, not just because, you know, I came up with the concept, not because, not because, you know, I'm the CEO of the company, but because I truly have spent a lifetime of studying gold. Yeah. I spent a lifetime of collecting gold, different types of gold, all across the world. And when I came to Zimbabwe, I realized there are trillions upon trillions of dollars of mineral assets in terms of value. Yeah. There is a lot of gold here. There's a lot of minerals here. And what we are doing is really innovative, and it will speak to the future. Yeah. Of what security tokens will become.
I think you've just, you just opened a really, you know, interesting doorway, and we definitely want to go down that path in the second segment of our show, because that's really deep what you just said right there. Mr. Ruben, you want to say something?
I wanted to take him back to the real estate thing, because if you think about real estate and the way it was financed, and this applies to a lot of major investment or things that are major investments now, if I want to have a major real estate development, I need $50, $75, $100 million. That means I have to find people who are ready to commit that. Like usually it's a small number. But now if we have security tokens, it means that to have major works, we can crowdsource funding for so many different people. And do that. But not only that, it means that the benefits of ownership, depending on the contract or depending on the arrangement of the security tokens, it means we can have many more people participate in the ownership of that. So a big office block or high-rise skyscraper, if we can, I'm not saying that this is what's happening here, but sometime in the future, if we can have an ICO that raises $500 million, builds a massive skyscraper, you can actually then have, you get to use this particular office for 8 hours a week. So we're not tied to this whole model of saying that, well, we found someone with $500 million, they built it, now you have to have these rent agreements and then all this other complexities come in. You can have this very direct relationship. And I think that's like coming back to the purity of this movement is we have to find innovative means of bringing the common person into these high value assets that before were sort of, you know, kept away from us.
Yeah, definitely.
I want to move on to something. Thank you for that contribution.
Thank you.
I don't really want to do this, but I know people do this. People pit utility tokens against security tokens, right? And the way I see it, a security token is what is, right?
Yeah.
It's what is right now. It exists. There's an underlying asset that exists.
Can be, yeah.
And yeah, in most cases.
Yeah.
And then a utility token, most of the time, is what could be.
It can be.
Sometimes.
It can be. Sometimes,
right?
Yeah.
Like, so do you think the reason why there's this sudden move, because definitely a lot of people are much more interested in security tokens, is because I can see this. It's been, or whether it's a business model or product, it's been done before. It's been tried and tested. They know the weaknesses, they know their challenges, they know how to overcome them. And then even though you have a brilliant idea, you still haven't done it before. So it's very difficult to measure, and like you said, it's the vehicle of speculation. I just have to hope for the best and just close my eyes and cross my fingers and say, and root for you. Whereas I could just invest in something that I know works. It's been working for years, and I can trust it because it has been working. Gold mining has been working. I've never heard that the Zimbabwean government is turning away gold. Like, yeah, we've bought too much, guys. Sorry, you're gonna. I haven't heard of that, right? Right. So this is a product that works. It's been working for years. Companies have been mining in this country for years, and they continue to mine and sell to a guaranteed customer. Right. So, do you think that the reason why people always move towards the security token is because our nature tells us to always go for something that has been proven, something that can be measured, and something that we know?
Sometimes. I'm going to let Eddie start with this one.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to defer to you. Go ahead.
All right. I'll twist it just a little bit. In line with Goldma, I would say, I would take the line you said, something that's been tried and tested, something that has been done before, something you can trust. Mm-hmm. Actually, Goldma is changing everything. It's combining the old and the new, you see. Because in some instances, if we take things that we don't know and say, I don't know this.
I don't understand.
It's not safe. What's Bitcoin? What's cryptocurrency? I'm used to the old system, which is money.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you look at it in the manner of security tokens and Goldma, what we know is gold, right? What's new is digitizing gold, right? What's even newer with Goldma is the royalties, where you still have an asset that holds value, that but you're getting more money out of it because you're getting quarterly royalties, right? And so I agree with you, and at the same time, I disagree with you, but I do agree with you. I don't know if it makes sense, because I believe in giving new things a chance. That's what I believe in.
Okay.
That's the only way we can move on. If we stick to the old ways, that's how the system has taken advantage of us this whole time. Because we've said, you know what, I trust in the US dollar. I've been using it for this whole time and things like that. So I'll say kudos to Goldma for combining the best attributes of gold and cryptocurrency. You know what I mean?
All right. Yes, just to explain on what I was saying as well. I just don't want people to misquote me. I was saying that the two different tokens, right? With the security token, in a case where it's supported by a business model that is known to have worked for centuries, like Goldma. And then you have maybe Nyarai on the side, who plans to create a robot that mines gold. I just have a business proposal and perhaps a small prototype, but I've never really done it before. I haven't mined gold with that robot. I haven't used it for many years, so which means even though I have a brilliant idea, there might be unforeseen challenges, that come after I've already taken money from people, as opposed to someone who actually knows this has been working for years. So I'm confident enough to take your money as investment and tell you that I'm going to make money for you, because that's what it is at the end of the day. It's an investment. It shouldn't be a trial and error of me saying, try me, I'm new.
All right. So one of those websites I was talking about, there's this bitcoinmarketjournal.com. There's a title: Why Security Tokens Are Emerging as Investors' Best Bet. So yes, you are right. You are right. And also there's Investopedia. It says, is 2018 the year of the security token?
Yeah.
It's another question. So it shows if it's been spoken about widespreadly. Like, we've had utility tokens, we've had stories, and if we go into depth, we know in this platform we might not be able to go to lunch, but but I agree with you.
Okay. Mr. Rubin looks like he has something to say. And I'm guessing it's something in opposition for what you just said.
No. I don't know if it's in opposition. I always wonder with this statement, is it courses for horses or horses for courses? I never know which way around it is. But people have different appetites. They have different tolerances for risk. So I wouldn't want to say that security tokens mean that we should not have, or we should disparage utility tokens, because some of the things we don't know yet.
Yeah,
there have been different trials of and different ways of implementing utility tokens. It's driven by market adoption. The market ends up deciding if it's useful or not.
Yeah,
and that's what comes up to it.
It's a very good point.
So I don't want to disparage utility tokens too much, because you never know. If Mark Zuckerberg had been walking around, in 2002 talking about, well, I'm going to create Facebook, hadn't done it yet, but then people probably would have thought he's crazy.
Yeah.
But, that's tens of billions of dollars of value now. So I think we want to leave a little bit of space to sort of say, okay, we haven't seen this thing I haven't seen this thing done properly as of yet.
Yeah.
Or at least personally, I'm not conscious of where it has been. But I want to leave space at that edge that someone bright is going to come up with a very, very useful case or scenario where it will make sense to have utility tokens. For security tokens, I think it's much more straightforward, as you were saying. This is the argument that you're making. It's true. There's a clear enough relationship for a lot of people to understand what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And, you make that decision.
Yeah.
So even within security tokens, you're going to find that, again, the different appetites and the different tolerances for risk are going to come through. Some people are going to be attracted to Goldma because there's the stability that you're talking about. There's the proven test case. These guys know what they're doing. That's okay. But then there are some people who are going to hear of that robot idea. Someone's thinking there, wow, why isn't someone running an ICO about this very same thing? So it's just we're different,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just to add on to that before we have to go, is that there are certain utility tokens like Ripple was working with banks.
Ripple is a good one.
I take my words back. There's a definite use case for utility tokens.
Bitcoin itself.
Oh, yeah.
It's considered a utility token. And, it first was considered the first distributed open source ledger, that exists where it was secure and everyone could take part of looking at the transparency of it, making sure that it's not only secure, but it was transparent. And so I think that as the world becomes more decentralized, I think people will find use case scenarios for utility tokens. Now, so there's a case for both. A security token, which you're actually tying physical assets and tokenizing it. Like we talked about the real estate, and we talked about Goldma in the case for security token. In terms of the utility tokens. So it's interesting what actually takes off. I think security tokens are the future of what's going to happen. As long as government allows there to be a balanced approach towards regulating it. And that's where the issue is at, the balanced approach of regulating security tokens. And right now, each country has its own set of policies and laws in respect to security tokens and how it's sold there. So that's going to be a challenge coming up. So let's see what happens.
Okay. To conclude, thank you very much for the contribution, Mr. J. I really would love to see, the impact of the Goldma project as a security token. and a method of acquiring investment. Like, I want to see the impact that will have on other companies that are contemplating taking the same route right now. Because, truth be told, Zimbabwe is at a point where it's ripe, for investments. Like, there's so many opportunities wherever you turn, because it's a country full of resources, full of educated, skilled labor, and it could really go a long way. And I remember when we were discussing, must be 4 episodes back, that we can actually have a leap effect, where we skip certain stages if we adopt a new, quick, efficient technology that we are currently using right now. So, as final thoughts, where do you guys think Zimbabwe can be, if they are to introduce security tokens of their own? Or should I say Zimbabwean companies?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of opportunities with respect to security tokens. Right now, cryptocurrency is unregulated. The only regulation that exists is there's a policy from the Reserve Bank that has been disseminated to the banks that these banks are not to transact in cryptocurrency. And there has been some contention. There have been court cases related to that. People can do their research on it. But as of right now, there isn't any framework that regulates cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, although the Reserve Bank has indicated that they're doing some research on it. So that's promising. The fact that you can get in now and begin to develop framework that can be positive for Zimbabwe in terms of developing real estate, in terms of tokenizing minerals, tokenizing the assets, like you got platinum, you got chrome, and you got so many different other minerals that I'm going to wrap it up now. And I won't go into it. But I think that the future is so bright that it's just up to the people who are here to make it. They have to be, as you say, active citizens.
Yeah.
And not look to others, but take a personal responsibility on doing it and making it happen themselves.
Okay. Thank you. Those are strong final words. I would have loved to give the other gentlemen on the panel a chance to speak, but unfortunately we have to go. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to our channel. We do put out content on a daily basis. We'll see you. Remember to subscribe to our channel and click the notification bell. That's how you'll know when we put out new content, because we do put out content on a daily basis. Remember to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and bye for now.